Apparently, there was one glitch that they wanted to keep in. Apparently, that may not have been kept in.
What is that?
I believe there's some sort of aquatic glitch, if you've heard of that one.
I haven't, no.
Well, what?
Mike, who hasn't played the game yet.
No, what is this one?
You've not heard of the shark glitch?
No, there's a shark?
Okay, so pre-release Starfield, apparently. There is, and I don't know where, I gotta, on Neon, okay?
Oh, I haven't been there yet.
Okay, but it's a planet covered entirely with water. Apparently, there was a glitch that allowed a shark to get on an elevator, and it would elevator doors would open, and the shark would just spill out into the street.
I wish.
Yeah, and so Pete Hines, head of global publishing, saw that glitch and said, "Do not take this bug out of the game." Because I'm almost positive they did, but I didn't want them to.
That would have been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would have been so fun. I love Neon City. That would have just been so much better.
Pete Hines.
The shark taking the elevator.
Yeah.
Pete Hines, who was sent a photo of my Fallout tattoo and gave it high praise.
There you go.
Got the Pete Hines seal of approval. Didn't make it to Todd, but it made it to Pete.
There you go. Well, he's marketing anyway. He loves the marketing stuff. So
right, and Todd Howard, the guy who runs Bethesda, who created Starfield. Yeah, I have not gone to Neon yet. I just reading about the lore of Neon and what it is, and I think I set my character's backstory as being from Neon. So I'm just
maybe you need to go home. Go home, Jack.
Okay, it's on my missions list.
Go visit.
Before I go to Neon, I need to go to Micro Center, and then I'll be good to go.
Have you guys, right off the bat, have either of you played the Outer Worlds?
Yes.
Are you getting Outer Worlds?
I liked it.
Are you getting Outer Worlds vibes from Starfield?
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. I would say, in a way, yes. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Outer Worlds was that Obsidian?
It was Obsidian.
It's Obsidian.
Because they did New Vegas, and I love New Vegas. New Vegas is my favorite, right? And I was a little meh with Outer Worlds, but here's the thing. I'm not crazy about space. So I'm already coming at this, with that baggage. But now that you say that, I am getting a little bit of those vibes in the way that both of the games seemed oddly hopeful.
Yeah.
And lacking enough depth, I think. The satire as far as corporations and stuff for Outer Worlds was right up there with Fallout. It was funny, it was self-aware, and I'm kind of getting a little ahead of myself, but I'm not seeing, and Todd and Bethesda never said that Starfield was going to have, satire and that kind of stuff in the way that Fallout does. But that's something that I feel like is missing from Starfield. It's too cheery. It's too optimistic.
Yeah. There are some, like their fake products, for example, is very much in the vein of what you would find in Fallout.
Yeah.
I really want chunks to be a real thing.
I want chunks so bad. I want chunks. I want all of the chunks. I want the wine chunks. Is that like a Jello shot?
Yeah.
Is that basically just like a Jello shot but with wine?
I think it's literally
I want to eat wine.
It's like a bottle of wine just compressed into like a cube.
In a cube.
No.
I mean, think about how organized my fridge would be if I could just stack my eggs.
I believe somebody did post a breakfast that they made. It was a Trunks breakfast in real life.
Ooh, okay.
That is awesome.
There's a cubed egg, and I don't know if it's some sort of cubed sausage, I guess, maybe, perhaps. I'm not sure exactly what it was.
Can we just talk?
That is great.
Can we just talk about the turnaround on this? That this game's been out for not even 2 weeks, and someone has already made a full-blown real life chunks.
Oh yeah, and then people are clamoring. They're saying, "Modders, I need you to get on this and actually have some sort of mod that allows people to share in a separate kind of method their ship creations so that they can say, oh, hey, I made this, instead of having to go in and be like, export it out. And they want to be able to hit a button and have their ship design go into this, little category here, and also come with the design specs. So if somebody wants to say, oh, I want to build that ship, they can like figure out how to do it with like the interiors and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because so many people are like,
great.
I made the Millennium Falcon. Well, I made my Millennium Falcon. Ooh, yours looks better than mine. What did you do different? And then you can be like, oh, this is my this is my recipe.
Here's my blueprint.
Yeah, here's my blueprint. Yeah. And like all the people are like, okay, I want to go deep dive. I want like the original Battlestar Galactica ships. Or, there's always, they've got the Firefly already. They've got, I don't know how
about the
many
Nostromo?
Star Trek. Yeah.
From Alien.
They did the Halo dropship.
Okay. Nice.
They've done a couple other ships that are like very well known. And then of course, now obviously I haven't played this, but if it's the vanilla version, you're limited to like 40 by 40 meters or something like that is a ship limit in sizing.
I think there is. Yeah.
So
I believe so.
Apparently that creates an issue with some people. And so they've already made a mod to kind of circumvent that. Now there's a certain way to be able to join the ship pieces together beyond the 40 by 40. And so somebody has created a Star Destroyer that is like 200 by something.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. And that would be so cool to be able to just import someone's blueprint.
Yeah.
Because I struggle with the ship building.
It's expensive as hell to get something that large.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I wonder how they got that much money. I'm broke.
They did the laundry basket sweep in the casino. Have you seen that?
No,
I haven't.
How have I seen all this stuff and I haven't played the game yet?
I'm 30 hours in.
I know. We're sitting here, we're doing our homework and playing the game and talking about or getting ready to talk about hey, this is what we like about the game. This is what we dislike. Here are all these things. And Mike's over here just on top of it.
Yeah. So, all right. So
rocking my world.
I don't know the names of this stuff because I haven't played it. So there's the casino, right? Where's the casino? The big casino.
No idea. I didn't even know there was a casino.
Right. So there's a casino, and they're talking big players, whales, if you will. And so some character, he's physically interacting with two objects. One is a laundry basket, and he takes the laundry basket, he puts it down on the edge of the table that they're playing. I'm assuming a card game. I think it's a card game. And he takes another object, and he's pulling the object along the table, scraping it looks like the bars, like gold bars, if you will, whatever the currency is.
Oh, like credit sticks.
The credits, yeah. And he's taking the credits and he's taking them off the table, and they're falling into the laundry basket. And he's going to every table doing it because he's not physically interacting with them.
Stealing them, yeah.
They're not noticing it. And he ended up getting like over 100,000 credits in just like a 30-second clip. He's just like shove, and then you can see him taking the basket and walking out
and just
of
walking
the area
right out with it.
And then afterwards, he's like in an area that no one can see. He goes yoink, 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 and no one does anything.
That's gonna get patched out.
Amazing.
I'm sure it will, but it's one of those things. You're like, it's like when you put the basket over somebody's over the guy's head.
I was just thinking
Skyrim.
of that.
Oh, you can't see me stealing, right? Boop. Yoink, 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 yoink. Exactly. I'm not touching your gold. Awesome. Yoink. Here you go.
That's brilliant.
I'm just doing laundry here.
Exactly.
See here. I'm just doing some laundry.
Yeah, and then
some money laundering.
There's I don't know if they're going to be able to patch this, but do you know about the hollow ship?
No.
The hollow ship.
So when you're fighting ships, the AI targets the center mass of your ship. So it's like, okay, well, here's your ship. I'm going to aim for the middle of it. Well, some guy basically made it looked like a wire work. So it looks like almost like a spaceport entryway for where you would park a ship. And it just is literally just the edge. It's the outer edge of a box, basically. And he's got his engines where they need to be, and he's got the cockpit where it needs to be. But it's basically all just, it looks like almost like gantryways. It's like, it's almost like a big square donut. And because the AI shoots to the middle of the ship, the middle of his ship is nothing. So
that's genius.
So it doesn't get damage.
Oh, I love that.
It takes him apparently it takes him 2 minutes because it's literally almost like a snake. The way it takes him 2 minutes to walk from one end of the ship to the other. But needless to say, it is quote unquote, if you will, impervious to attack because the AI doesn't focus on the corners of the ship. It focuses on where the middle of the ship, and it recognizes the edges of the ship. It goes, okay, here's the edges, shoot to the middle. The middle's nothing.
Do you think
that's so genius?
I don't know if it's going to get patched or not.
Do you think
because it's kind of it's an exploit, but the question is it something that you'd be like, okay, you win.
That's a technicality.
Like, whatever.
He used his noodle.
Yeah, you win on a technicality kind of thing. Like, I wouldn't honestly at that point. And a lot of people, like, as they saw it, like, I like the idea, but I refuse to do it myself. I'd rather enjoy the game in terms of making a ship that I like to see. You know? So I think that's the other thing. Like, yeah, it's an exploit. Yeah, you win, but it's not going to be massively used. And have you guys done the day one thing where you can get like one of the best ships and one of the best spacesuits?
No.
Okay.
No.
But
I don't know that one.
Jack is aware because he said no like this disparagingly. Like, no.
Have you, Mike? You haven't played the game over here.
Well, I heard we're not going to do spoilers, but I want to look it up. In my own free time.
There's a way to apparently, get one of the best spacesuits and at least a very good spaceship very early on. It's, I don't think technically an exploit, but it is not intuitive in terms of going to, I'm going to go here and you just walk in and you get it. There's also one that's technically an exploit, I think, because there's a gap in, I believe it's a display case, where if you're just hovering over it right, you can access it and request it to enter your inventory because you can't pick the lock. You can't. Yeah. So I'm not sure. I know
that suit that you're talking about, because I was looking around and I was like, can I do anything with this? I'll have to look that up.
Mm-hmm.
See, that reminds me of in Dawnstar and Skyrim, before like one of the first big patches came out, one of those it was a chest that had literally every item in the game. It was too close to like the edge of the mountain, like the mountainside, and you could just walk up to it and like you would see the little open chest prompt appear, and it's like it's there for QA testing. They just forgot to take it out. And if like you needed anything, if you needed the most powerful sword, or if you needed gold,
awesome,
you could just go and get it from there. And when it was shown to me, I'm like, I don't like this. This literally just ruins everything for me. Like, I want to earn all of this.
But it would be fun to do like an OP run.
Oh yeah.
But I hear what you're saying. Yeah, it does take something out of the game.
Yeah. And so it's that's the thing. It's like, do you do it and have an easy time? Do you not enjoy like it? I don't know. It's your call.
Well,
do a run with both.
Exactly.
Allow me to one up Mike and all of his knowledge of Starfield by asking you, Nicole, if you've ever picked any locks in the game.
I have. I do love lock picking in these games.
Yeah.
It took me a little bit to get used to this new style of lock picking because I'm used to like the Fallout lock picking or Skyrim lock picking. So I was a little bit confused at first. I think it gives you instructions when you start, but I never read those damn things.
Yeah, same.
And instructions. What
are those? I throw that random piece of junk that comes in the box with anything that has words on it. I'm not reading that.
Yeah. I prefer my IKEA instructions, poorly drawn photos.
Exactly. Thank you. Let me figure it out. But I was able to figure it out. And then there is on your skill tree, you can improve your lock picking. And so there's a skill where if the I call them dig picks, but they're digipicks.
Yeah, I call them dig picks.
I call them dig picks because that's what I first read it as, and I'm like, no, it's dig picks. It will show you, the ring will highlight in blue if the dig pick that you have selected will fit in that ring. So that's kind of helpful. It took me a little bit to get used to it, but I'm out here picking locks, baby.
Yeah, it's a nice change from the old formula because Skyrim and Fallout, since Fallout 3, the lock picking system has been pretty much the same. You know exactly what it's going to be going into it. And they actually,
damn it.
It's not even that, Mike. It's like a full blown like mini game now. Like you actually have to sit and think and plan out how you're going to do
like a
this.
puzzle.
Yeah, because you will. It costs you a digipick just to get into the lock. So like if you only have one, and then you realize you're like you made the wrong move, you're screwed. You're not going to be able to unlock it. So
You'll need to get out and go back in.
Yeah. So I think if I remember correctly, if you are successful, then you'll save the pick, but it costs one just to get in. And then if you have to back out and correct your error, that
you'll lose one.
Yeah, that eats the pick. So it reminds me of BioShock. BioShock 1 and 2 had really good like lock picking mini games. If I remember correctly, BioShock 1, it was like Pipe Dream. I
didn't play BioShock. I was scared of BioShock.
Okay, BioShock. I mean, BioShock's in the same vein as like Fallout in terms of like the old school, like retro futuristic aesthetic and the fake branding and everything. Like that's half the charm.
I'm too scared.
The plot, the plot line, the subplots, and the message behind Fallout is a lot. I feel like a lot different than BioShock, though.
Oh yeah, BioShock's all just about like mind control and
but there's enough of that. I think I understand what you're talking about as far as that vibe, and that's why I so wanted to get into it. But that first little jump scare right at the start, I was like, I'm out. I'm done. I don't need this.
I don't even remember what jump scare that was.
There's like a guy that jumps on the elevator or something as you're going down.
Oh yeah, the splicer. Yeah, okay. I think I've just played the game. Nah. I've played the game enough where that's like I don't even think about that. And you know what? They're not even
scared me.
That. I think that's really it. That's the only like jump scare in the game too. So
it scarred me. I was like, no.
Until you get to
I'm
2
not
with
doing this.
the big. Was it the big mom? What's that one called? The big mommy? What is that?
Oh, the big daddy. Yeah.
Those were scary too.
No, and 2 you play as one. You're was I think Subject Alpha, I think they call him, or Subject Delta. But BioShock 2 has a DLC called Minerva's Den, and it's regarded as one of the greatest expansion packs ever released for any video game in the history of the medium. And I played it for the first time a couple of years ago, and at the end of it, I was like, this was really good. Like gameplay wise, okay, standard BioShock fare, whatever. Story wise, holy fuck.
Oh wow.
Like not many games actually get me that I actually have my jaw drop at the end of it. So
yeah,
I agree with the because I didn't like BioShock 2 otherwise. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I agree with the consensus that the DLC is like light years better by comparison. But
and BioShock Infinite's mind fuck.
BioShock Infinite took me 3 playthroughs to understand what the fuck was going on. It makes sense now, but it's like Fight Club. I had to watch Fight Club multiple times to understand like what was happening.
That's a good way to reference it. Yeah. You're like, I don't talk about Fight Club and I don't talk about BioShock Infinite.
Nicole, have you read Fight Clubs 2 and 3?
No, I haven't. I'm completely in the dark with that.
Because they exist.
I don't know if I'm interested, to be completely honest.
I never read.
I want to leave Fight Club as it is.
I never read 3, but I have every issue of Fight Club 2 because it was a comic book. Both of them were comic books, and
yeah, yep,
they were released in monthly format, and then later released as a graphic novel. But yeah, I mean they exist as comic books.
Yeah.
So, but
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't know.
Fight Club 2 is a mindfuck. I'll talk about mindfucks. But anyway, so let's do this before we break. Talk about what we like so far about Starfield. I made a list, and first and foremost, second, the basic Bethesda formula. Starfield follows it. Like, you know what you're getting into going into this game. it's obviously you're not just confined to a single world like Tamriel or the Wasteland. There's traveling between different planets, different solar systems. But other than that, like you know what you're getting into with Starfield. If you've played any of the Fallout games or you've played any of the Elder Scrolls games, you know that you're going to have weight limits, capacity limits for your character, and you'll get over encumbered if you hit that limit, and it will screw you up. The lockpicking mini game we just talked about. First thing I checked with weapons was to see if there's any degradation.
Right.
And there's not.
Or if you can repair.
That right there, that changed even within, the Bethesda games, didn't it?
Yeah.
Degradation.
It did. Yeah.
Yep.
Because they haven't done it, I think, since New Vegas, because it's not in Skyrim and it's not in Fallout 4.
No,
it's not. And then in Fallout 4, they really ramped up the modifications.
Mhm.
You could buy like mods for guns in New Vegas, but you would just repair guns, and they would just have durability. You would consume the other gun to repair, whichever one that you wanted to repair. But in 4 is where they really introduced the modification system, which is also in Starfield, but is locked behind a stupid skill thing. But it is in Fallout 4 as well. Yeah. But it's locked behind a skill tree that I haven't accessed yet. So I'm using all those stupid guns I pick up from people.
Yep. All the maelstroms and
all the maelstroms. All of the maelstroms.
And Grendels. Maelstroms and Grendels are like the pipe pistols and the pipe rifles of Fallout 4.
Just everywhere. Just all over the place.
Everyone has one and they're garbage.
And they're awful. They do like 4 damage.
Yep.
What do you do? Get out of here with this 4 damage. I'd rather use a pistol.
So yeah, but it's what you come to expect with Bethesda. It's there's at least that familiarity in there. So they come out with their first new IP in 25 years. Well, at least the basic structure, the bones, the nervous system of past Bethesda games is here. So you're not completely in the dark as long as you've played.
The learning curve is not that steep comparatively if you've been in other Bethesda games.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Now, how long did you guys take to create your character?
Ooh. Nicole, you go.
So I always try to go for a self-insert whenever I play like a Fallout game, or now in this case Starfield. So I did try to make my character look like me. I didn't know anything about the story, about like the selections I was choosing, about like my attributes. So those are kind of weird. But I think it took me overall maybe like a half hour, but I didn't get too specific with all of the different, the different sliders and stuff. I kept having issues where the screen was really sensitive. So I'd try to go like select something and it would just change the category I was in because, my mouse got a little too close to that category. And that drove me up a wall. So I only spent like a half hour or so on character creation.
Okay.
Jack?
Probably not a half hour. I know a lot of people who are really into character creation, and it's just not something I invest a lot of time in. I really appreciate that they have the presets and you can just go from there.
The presets looked good.
They are good. There's a lot of preset options, which is nice. Compared to
did they have the prototypical ugly preset as well, so you can be like that ugly guy, you're like, oh my god.
I mean, they
got a couple.
Someone did make Todd Howard, so yes. So that took them like 9 hours, but they made a full-blown Todd Howard replica.
Bash Todd like that.
A lovely person.
I always start with a preset, and it depends on like the vibe I'm feeling. So like with like Fallout 4, for example, I think my current guy is like an old guy. So starting off with one of those presets and just kind of building from there. Like I don't just pick the preset and go with that. I just use that as my, my jumping off point, but I typically don't do a lot of, fine tuning. Like I don't care about how big or like what direction my nose is facing. Or like what my eyes
your
look
nostril
like.
size.
Yeah,
that was one of the things.
Yeah, like I appreciate that you can do that, but especially like maybe for a future playthrough, I'll do that. Okay. But for now, it's like I just want to get into the game because I know full well I could spend hours on here fucking around with character creation. The other thing is too, I almost exclusively play in first person. So like I'm never going to see my character. And like, let's go back to like Skyrim, for example, where like you're constantly wearing helmets. And, so like, why even bother with what your face is going to look like? Cause you're never going to see it. Cause Skyrim didn't have a hide helmet option, if I remember correctly. Starfield does. So like when you're out in space, actually, when you're out in space, I think you keep it on. But if you keep your spacesuit on in any building, you can then set an option to automatically, like you keep the helmet on, but cosmetically it's off.
Yes. Yep. Like your spacesuit and your helmet. Yeah.
I do really like that the third person mode. Now this is I'm basing this off console because I'm playing on Xbox. I don't know how it is on PC, but there's 2 third person camera modes.
Yeah. Yep. I thought that was interesting. The close-up one and then one a little further away.
Okay. I mean, I know that like, how far away is the far away one are we talking about? Because I know that like in New Vegas, right? You can do a scroll where you're like just over the shoulder and you can scroll back further.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it was. It was kind of the over the shoulder versus the character more central and a little bit further back.
Yeah. So it's like, think of like Grand Theft Auto. Like that camera style.
Okay.
But you can obviously do the same thing. You can go like close up, pan it farther back. But it's nice because then let's call it the OG third person camera. It's that over the shoulder. It's what you're accustomed to from previous Bethesda games. But then pressing for Xbox is pressing I think it's the back button. Or they change it with every iteration, but let's just call it select. Yeah. It's the select button. You hit that. And hitting it a second time, and I was expecting to go back to first person. I'm like, oh my God, the camera angle changed. They're
giving you options.
This is a welcome addition. Okay. I like that they snuck that in.
And it's smooth. It's not with like New Vegas with that slider. Sometimes I have issues where I'm not actually trying to zoom or something. Maybe I thought I hit that first and wanted to change the target. So that would get a little clunky for New Vegas, but I think for Starfield, it's really seamless. It's just quick, boop, 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 however you want to, whatever perspective you want.
Yeah.
How does it go again?
And then you're good to go. It goes boop, boop, boop.
Okay. Thank you.
I got you.
I really, really like that we're back to having a silent protagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a point of contention for you. Really, you were like, "Fuck this! It needs to go away."
I hated it. Oh my God! And I was playing Fallout 4 recently. So Xbox Game Pass, wonderful creation that's in beta right now. Cloud gaming, because the Google Stadia has been shut down, and now companies are like Microsoft, for example, jumping on the cloud gaming bandwagon. So I was playing Fallout 4 on my Chromebook last weekend.
That's awesome.
And just remembering, I guess, pre-gaming for Starfield, and just remembering just how much I hate the fact that my character can talk, and that just like the voice acting for like just like the different questions you can ask and just like the inflections and everything. It's just so out of place. It just doesn't sound right, and it never sounded right. And
also in 4, you'd have options for talking, and it would be vastly different from what you'd thought it might be, because it was almost like you'd get a snapshot of what it was going to say and the full text was different.
Yeah.
In Starfield, is it more like your dialogue options are basically printed out verbatim?
That.
Okay.
Yeah, just
exactly, because you're silent.
Yeah, it's just
yeah. So that's all you can go off of,
Yeah,
and
so it
you get
wasn't
more
like
options.
sarcastic. You're like, no. This is my sarcastic answers written out in full sentence.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That was, I mean, I remember someone making a mod for 4 to change it so that you could see exactly what your character would say, because you think you'd be going to say one thing and all of a sudden you turned into an asshole. And it's like, I didn't even realize I was going to say that. I wanted to say specifically this. You said something completely else.
Yeah, the button prompt says
something different.
Button prompt says disagree, so you press that and your character goes, fuck you, asshole. Like, no.
Yeah,
Right,
like, whoa,
you're like, whoa.
That's a bit strong. We should bring it back next time, guys.
A bit more than I intended.
I feel like then that they've may have listened to that, and that's going to be gone by the wayside.
I think the guy who actually came up with that system for Fallout 4 is no longer with Bethesda. So used his exit as an opportunity to go back to the way things were. And if you think about it, when the Wastelanders update for Fallout 76 came out, that's when they technically went back to the old style. Because, yeah, you technically have a silent protagonist in that game. They introduced NPCs. Then the dialogue structure of the old games was introduced there. But for a mainline single player Bethesda game, it's nice to have the silent protagonist again.
Yeah.
Because then it makes it
easier for self-insert.
Yeah, well, it also, like, there's some games out there like Saints Row, for example, where like your character has a voice, but there will be multiple options that you can select for your character's voice, which, if you think about it, then that means that like 5 different voice actors were paid for all this work. And like, what's the chances of you being able to, of them actually being heard? But it just took, if you're someone who gets really immersed in it, like Nicole, like if you don't want your female character to sound the way she does, well, tough shit. Because there's only one voice actress did the work. Yeah.
There's one Nora. That's all you got.
So to have it be silent helps with thinking like, okay, this is me in this role.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's nice to have. And I do like that when you have your companion with you, dialogue options for your companion come up.
That was interesting. I was confused by that at first, but then I, selected those options a couple times and I was like, okay, that's good. It makes it feel like my companion is part of the conversation, not just sitting there looking over my shoulder being like, hey, you done talking yet?
Yep.
You ready to talk to me now?
Carry your burden.
I mean, they still say stuff like that, unfortunately, but I mean, I don't know. At this point, it's kind of almost like an inside joke. I'm like, all right, Lydia. Yep.
Yeah. I'm going
to carry my burdens. Let's go.
I don't think now I apparently haven't done as much as Mike has in Starfield, despite Mike not having yet played the game. But I haven't found, I've only really had 2 companions, and I haven't really, I don't know if there's any in the game that are comparable to Lydia, for example, where once you get, I mean, Lydia's kind of forced upon you in Skyrim once you become a Thane. But it's a rite of passage to then Fusro her off the side of a mountain and kill her immediately.
No, I always wifed Lydia.
I was part of the anti-Lydia fan club.
Oh,
You wifed Lydia?
Of course I did.
What?
She was the first girl who looked at me. Like, ring.
Is that Amulet Amara? Oh God, I didn't.
Let's go. I'll buy us a house. Want some pets?
They were ahead of Bethesda was ahead of the game in 2011 when I'm playing a male character and I put on the Amulet of Mara and my companion Roggy Knotbeard goes, "Is that an Amulet of Mara? I've never noticed how nice your eyes are."
You're like, oh, hey there, big boy.
Gay marriage. Okay, we can do this. I'll see you in Riften.
Let's go. See you in Riften.
Yeah. So, Mike, the way that the dialogue for companions works is when you in the dialogue tree, like persuade, lie, put it in parentheses, but then there will be an option with your companion's name, and usually you can use that sort of as like a speech check, if you will. So if you're about to find yourself in a sticky situation, you might be able to use your companion to get you out of it. But that's
help me out, Sarah.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, man, I might stick with Sarah. I like Sarah.
She's pretty cool. She's pretty cool.
Sarah's good. Sarah's good.
The Chronomark, that is the what's basically your HUD. It's your watch. It tells you
It's your Pip-Boy, if you will.
It's your Pip-Boy.
It is. But it tells you like how much oxygen you have. If there's CO2, then it'll monitor that. But it also tells you what planet you're on. It's got the compass in it. And real life chronomarks exist. If
That's so cool.
yeah, if you drop,
I'm checking out that link.
it's like $200 or $300, but it's the fanciest, most expensive version of the game. I think you could only pre-order it, but it came with a smartwatch that's basically the Chronomark, and it's a fully functioning smartwatch. And Mike, it's in the same vein as the Pip-Boy that you got with Fallout 4 when you got the fancy version of it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's nice that they did this because Bethesda really missed the mark with Fallout 76 just as a whole. But there was that whole the nylon bag controversy.
Yeah, the
76.
canvas bag.
Yep. So they've learned from their mistakes and upped their pre-order bonus game, even if it comes at quite the cost.
But that's the thing. If you're paying into it, you expect something back.
Yeah. And it's a fully it's a fully functioning smartwatch too. I mean, it does everything you expect a smartwatch to do. So they didn't skimp
It
there.
looks good
Yeah.
quality.
Are there better smartwatches? Yes, but it is a smartwatch that is in the exact image of the game.
I hope they release a non-pre-order bonus only version of it.
They might.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But Mike, they didn't do that with the Fallout 4 Pip-Boy though, right?
No, there was I don't know if it was Bethesda specific, but there was a build your own Pip-Boy option that you could buy.
I have that. It was for 76.
Yeah, that was for 76 though, right? Yeah.
Which fuck that thing, by the way, because the instructions were awful and it took me a week to put it together because it's like a puzzle. It's all these small parts, and
that's because somebody didn't put any points into repair. You fucking idiot.
Nor intelligence. I like to be the lovable oaf. You see,
me talk good.
You get good speech options that way. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's intelligence 1, strength 10. Perfect.
Yes.
Isn't there it's the idiot savant perk in Fallout 4 where if like it's like something randomly comes up, but then you just hear like you see the little dumb Vault Boy icon appear and you just hear
Yeah, I love that.
And finally, if the NPCs and the worlds, like the different planets, look this good in this game, like just imagine what Elder Scrolls 6 is going to look like.
Right. It's very exciting.
Because like we thought Skyrim looked great when Skyrim came out. Skyrim still looks really good for a 10-plus-year-old game. But then compare it to like Starfield, and you're like, okay, well, Skyrim looks like shit.
It really does. So I got a 2080 now. I upgraded for Starfield, and it is just, I mean, I've literally just been playing New Vegas, so it is a complete difference with how the games look nowadays. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's water reflections. I'm like, what is this lighting going on? It's really great.
Yeah. I can see this person's pores. Oh my God.
Seriously. Like skin looks better. I mean, hair is really tough to do, but everything just looks so much better. I did have to get a mod to get rid of that like grainy effect that the game tends to have. It just kind of looks a little like washed out and grainy. There's a little mod for that. Something LUD. I can give you the link for it, Jack, if you're interested. But I mean, it looks amazing. Very excited for Elder Scrolls, if this is what we're seeing now.
I don't know if the Xbox version actually has mods yet.
Oh, you can't mod for the Xbox. Oh
yeah,
no.
no modding for console.
Oh, that sucks to suck.
I mean, you could do it on Fallout 4 and Skyrim, so they might add it in the future. So I might be able to enjoy this, just not now. I think when Fallout 4 came out, actually, it was like 2 weeks after launch is when they added mods. So
for consoles.
They waited a little while. And I remember Sony I actually changed my Fallout 4 pre-order from PS4 to Xbox because that was like a big controversy because Sony like initially didn't want to allow the game to be modded, and then they relented, but it's nothing that's like it's like nothing that like allows for code change or something. It was like paranoia over the network intrusion from years past. Whereas Microsoft is just like, fuck it, do whatever you want. We don't care. Have fun. I have a 2060, so I'm not sure if I would be able to enjoy the benefits of ray tracing. I think I'd be able to turn it on and look at it as if it was a still image, but then trying to do anything, that'd be a different story.
Yeah.
I felt,
probably.
I felt seen by Todd Howard's comments where he's like, people are complaining about like the game not running well on the PC. And my response to that is buy a better PC.
I mean, it's fair. I mean, I'm chugging along with the 2080, so, but I do need to upgrade these parts. So not wrong.
When I built my gaming computer a few years ago, which I remember the exact night I built my gaming PC. It was January 6th, 2021. A day that...
Where were you?
a day that absolutely nothing important happened in American history.
So you've got an alibi? Yeah, who watched you make that computer, huh? Who watched you build that? Where were you?
It's the best computer.
I want a new judge. But I built it partially because my motherboard was on its way out, and if you're going to replace a motherboard, you're just building a new computer at that point.
Might as well.
But also, Cyberpunk.
How long did that motherboard last for you?
4 years.
That's it?
I built
wow.
Yeah, I built it when I moved into this house, like right after I moved in, maybe like a month or two after I moved in. And just because of all the stuff that was plugged into that motherboard, coupled with me thinking I was too cool for any sort of backup battery, shock protector, whatever, surge protector, the USB ports on my motherboard all fried one by one.
Oh, that's
Yikes.
Not good.
So, I looked up.
There's your problem.
Yeah, I looked up how to.
Yeah, right.
I looked up how to replace, and all the responses were buy new motherboard, but then you'll have to buy a new CPU, and then you'll have to buy a new
power supply.
Yeah.
This doesn't fit.
Yep. So I just said,
now I need different fans and a whole new case to put it all in.
That's exactly what I did. So, Cyberpunk had just come out, and I'm like, you know what? I want to be able to enjoy Cyberpunk, so built a new computer and was able to do so at 30 frames a second, which I don't really care. That's another thing about Starfield is that people are complaining that it on console it's locked to 30 frames a second, even though the new generation of consoles are capable of doing 60. And honestly, I don't really care because like on PC for newer games, I like if I want to enjoy it with RTX on and playing on ultra settings or what have you, I got to drop my frame limit down.
Yeah, I'm not a snob for the frames myself. I've got terrible vision. Sometimes I have a hard time even detecting. I'm like, I guess, this looks better than this, but like, I don't feel like I'm missing anything at 30 frames. And it's funny because I've been having an issue even really getting 30 frames in some of the cities on my PC. And we've looked into all sorts of stuff. We don't know why it's like not performing any better than that. So I'm in the console range, just as is on my PC. And I don't really feel like I'm missing out personally.
Yeah. I mean, even like with the PS5 now, there's games that will have fidelity mode, which is like 4K and ray tracing, what have you, and then performance mode, which is 1080, but it's 60 frames. And it's like, okay, well, what do you care more about? And for me, it's like I'm playing on a 4K TV on hardware that is designed to show ray tracing and reflections and all that. I'm going to go for that option, and I don't care how many frames I'm getting as long as it's not sub 30. Like, I'll take the hit. I will take the hit. I just want it to look nice.
Yeah.
And All that said, I'm playing on the Xbox Series S, which can't do ray tracing, so I can't.
Maybe one day.
I can't enjoy Neon in its glory.
Oh, I love Neon.
I need to go. I have a mission. I'm doing. See, we're talking about the Bethesda formula.
Because that's your home world, dude. Come on.
I'm doing the Bethesda thing where I just have no less than 20 active missions right now, and they just keep
all at the same time.
They all just keep piling up.
Another settlement needs you.
They don't. I don't think Starfield lets you take multiple missions, like have multiple active missions at once. You can only have one active at a time.
Yes, but I have a bunch in my quest log.
Oh, same.
My quest log is just an absolute mess. And then if you notice when you scroll down your quest log, there's something called activities.
No,
there's a whole bunch of side quests over in there too. I'm like, oh, who are these people I have to go talk to? What planets are they even on? I don't know.
That's your misc.
I'll talk to them eventually.
Mike, that's your miscellaneous section. Yeah.